I'm 40 years old. I can say right now that I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm better in shape now than I was in my 20s. Back pain's a lot better.
You started off, like you said, close to 300. What I think your highest we worked together was
The
what?
highest I was about 280 at one point, yeah. I was hospitalized due to my back pain. I've been pretty much overweight my whole life, diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, probably in my mid-20s, late 20s, hypertension, cholesterol. I was on almost 6, 7 different medications at one point. I was almost put on insulin. I'll tell you right now, you either make your decision whether you pay for a quality coach or you pay for co-payments for your doctors or your medications.
I like that.
If you want to get results, if you want to stop wasting time, if you want to stop wasting money on these ridiculous fat burners on Amazon and these crazy cookie cutter plans that you find online, then yeah, go for it. Just wasting time and money. I went to these doctors and went to these nutritionists. It was just basically they were trying to sell you meal plans, not really giving you lifestyle changes and talking to you about how to lose weight, how to maintain weight loss and how to change your life. It was just basically, hey, buy these meals from us, buy these shakes, buy these pills, and after you're done losing weight, you're going to yo-yo, you're going to go right back up. I realized I couldn't do it by myself. I kept going through these random programs, downloading these apps, wasting money, buying programs online, down the same rabbit hole, trying to do random things, kind of aimlessly going from machine to machine in the gym, not really knowing, having a correct structure, not knowing what to do properly. Anybody can just Google a program. There's a billion of them online. You can go ahead and follow it, but you're not going to get the accountability. You're not going to get those daily check-ins. You're not going to have somebody basically hounding you, making sure you're getting your steps in, you're eating right, you're doing your exercises, weighing yourself every day, you're drinking your water. And it actually not only did this drive me to better myself, but also help my family get back into the fitness. I talked to my brother, my coworkers, friends.
Alhamdulillah. So you were able to reach a lot of people through that one decision of being like, all right, you know what? I want to change. I don't want to live this life of, this constant pain and taking medication and stuff. And alhamdulillah, not only were you able to benefit yourself, you were able to benefit many, many others and through your profession as well, right? All right. Bismillah. Salatu salamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. Alhamdulillah, today we are joined with, I would say, my very first client ever that I worked with, and also maybe the best transformation that I have seen, alhamdulillah, through the program so far. Brother Mubashir, please, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and, just introduce yourself to the people.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mubashir. I live in New York. I met Azim through actually my nephews and his IG content. I was really attracted to the IG content because it kind of mixed not only fitness, but Islamic values along with the fitness and the Sunnah way of doing things, which is really something that you don't see too often nowadays. So that really attracted me. And then after going through his IG content, I reached out and I got a response really within a couple of minutes. And then after that, I started working with Azim. And so what do I do? So I'm a nurse practitioner and I do pain management. I've been pretty much overweight my whole life. The highest I've ever been was about almost close to 300 pounds. And I'm diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, young actually, probably in my mid-20s, late 20s, hypertension, cholesterol. I was on almost 6, 7 different medications at one point, and I was almost put on insulin. So that's what kind of scared me. I didn't want to start pricking myself every day with a needle. And I knew I need to start making changes. And so that's what kind of helped me reach out to training, online training. I've tried doing it by myself, never got anywhere real quick, didn't have that accountability, kind of did any random program I found on bodybuilding.com, did it for a couple of days, couple of weeks maybe, and usually end up injuring myself. If I've had back surgery, I have a pretty bad back, so need a little bit more guidance as to what is appropriate for somebody like myself. Even though I do have a medical background, sometimes that doesn't always translate into the fitness industry. And so, yeah, so I reached out to Azim, and ever since then we worked together. We started working, I think, during the pandemic, right after the pandemic.
I remember it was during the pandemic because I was home, and I remember this was in my previous location, and I remember I remember having the conversation with you, and you since you were my first client, I was very self-conscious, and I was like, all right, let me clean this stuff up in the back, and I had like 4 or 5 masks because my wife is a RN, so I was like,
Mhm.
okay, let me throw away the mask real quick. So I do remember distinctively it was during the pandemic.
Yeah. So during the pandemic, and then reached out to him, and I saw that the prices were really,
Yeah,
really low at that point. So I was like, you know what? I was asked him if he was sure, and as to if this is legit. At that point, I was like, is this even legit? But then, alhamdulillah, it came through. We decided to work together, and alhamdulillah, ever since then, I felt like I've done a lot for myself. No longer on medication. Actually, yeah, no, and back pain's a lot better. And it actually not only did this drive me to better myself, but also help my family get back into the fitness. I talked to my brother, my coworkers, friends. Yeah.
alhamdulillah. So you were able to reach a lot of people through that one decision of being like, all right, you know what, I want to change. I don't want to live this life of this constant pain and taking medication and stuff. And alhamdulillah, not only were you able to benefit yourself, you were able to benefit many others, and through your profession as well, right? Like you said, you come from a medical background, so you know the importance of fitness, getting healthy. And we talked about it a little bit. You didn't want to be one of those fat people in like the field telling people, hey, this is how you manage your pain. This is how you get better. This is how you feel better when you were feeling like the way you were doing, lethargic, low on energy, always
Yeah.
in pain and things like that, right? So can you speak a little bit about, what really pushed you to make the decision to be like, hey, you know what? Something needs to change. I want to do online coaching. I want to work with this brother to sort of better myself.
Yeah. So what really made me consider getting help was the fact that, hey, I realized I couldn't do it by myself. I kept going through these random programs, downloading these apps, wasting money, buying programs online. I remember buying one program, won't mention the name online. It was $20. I was like, hey, it's $20. Why not? And he said, the coach said, yeah, we're gonna keep you accountable. Never got any text from him. Never got any type of an email or phone call or anything. And at that point, I was just like, hey, this is a waste of time. This is a waste of money. It kind of put me off from online coaching for a little bit. So I went down the same rabbit hole, tried to do random things, kind of aimlessly going from machine to machine in the gym, not really knowing, having a correct structure, not knowing what to do properly. And then that's when I decided, hey, it needs to change. I decided to get online coaching with you, Azim. And then, alhamdulillah, ever since then, I think I've grown leaps and bounds with regards to my fitness and my health. And I highly recommend everybody getting the accountability portion of coaching. It's just so much more important than just getting, like, anybody can just Google a program. There's a billion of them online, and you can go ahead and follow it, but you're not going to get the accountability. You're not going to get those daily check-ins, and you're not going to have somebody basically hounding you, making sure you're getting your steps in, you're eating right, you're doing your exercises, you're weighing yourself every day, you're drinking your water. If you're not going to do that, then all that money and time almost seems like it's going to be wasted.
Absolutely, absolutely. And when you said leaps and bounds, and inshallah, we'll put up a picture of how you looked before as opposed to how you look now. This is leaps and bounds, right? I mean, you started off like you said, close to 300. What I think your highest we worked together was what was it like two? I don't want to. Remember. It was 80 something.
The highest I was about 280 at one point, yeah.
Yeah, and
And I will share a video of me in the hospital at my heaviest when I was hospitalized due to my back pain. I'll share with you so you can share with your audience. And that was at my heaviest. And that after that, that was that was pretty embarrassing. When I look back at that video time and again, and I realized that this is. I was told by my doctors that I was going to have a heart attack in my 30s. I'm turning 40 in next month, so that didn't happen as of yet. So inshallah, it won't happen. I was told by my surgeon after. Actually, it's funny when he did my surgery. Right after he did my surgery, the when I woke up from anesthesia, he said, "Listen, if you don't lose weight, you're going to require another surgery. You're going to require a fusion, which is a very invasive type of surgery of your lower back." And I asked him, all right, so help me lose weight. He's like, go to somebody else. I'm just a surgeon. So,
Yeah.
I went to these doctors and went to these nutritionists. It was just basically they were trying to sell you meal plans, not really giving you lifestyle changes and talking to you about how to lose weight, how to maintain weight loss, and how to change your life. It was just basically, hey, buy these meals from us, buy these shakes, buy these pills. And after you're done losing weight, you're going to yo-yo. You're going to go right back up. The second you go off those meal plans and those medications, you're going to gain back all that weight.
Yeah, and that's the problem with a lot of these diets. Like I've you've seen, right? Like you can follow a meal plan, you can follow a workout plan, like you mentioned, but it's that person that's keeping you on track. It's that constant, making sure, just like our Prophet Sallallahu right? The
So
perfect example, he didn't do things alone, right? Even at the hardest moments of his life, he had people with him. He had Abu Bakr Siddiq when they were escaping the Quraysh. He had, Umar radiallahu anhu at the Battle of Uhud. He had his Sahaba with him, right? And I'm not just talking about his wives, I'm talking about people, friends, mentors to sort of help keep you in check, right? In that same way, that's sort of what a coach provides. And that's the same thing that we try to preach. We try to preach that you're in a dark place and, that accountability, that coach. And we also spoke about this a little bit, that it's not just your physical health, right? It's your mental health. The way that
absolutely.
you feel after you've accomplished your goals, the way that you feel after you've gotten the knowledge that you need to sustain this. Because, like, look, honestly, to be frank, we have not worked together in the past, I want to say 5+ months. But
Hmm.
mashallah, 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 the progression that you've had, the amount of knowledge that you've gained through taking that path, that action of working together, it's stayed with you. Like you haven't needed to check in or do anything. You've been off the program for a very, very long time, but the results you've been able to maintain and keep with it. That's the value that, we try to push for others. And, if there's someone teetering on the edge of, whether I should do it or shouldn't do it, what would you say would be your piece of advice to push them over the edge, to be like, hey, go for it. It's not about money. It's more time. It's more how you feel. What would be your advice in regards to that?
So if it's about money, I'll tell you right now, you either make your decision whether you pay for a quality coach or you pay for co-payments for your doctors or your medications.
I like that.
That's what you do. So that's what it boils down to. With regards to being on the fence, just, the person even who is on the fence with regards to getting a coach or not, they've already done numerous programs already. It's not like this is their first thing they're deciding to get a coach. Everybody decides to try to do it themselves first. So the fact that they're even on the fence with regards to getting a coach is because they tried multiple things and failed. So I don't know what's really stopping them at this point. If you want to get results, if you want to stop wasting time, if you want to stop wasting money on these ridiculous fat burners on Amazon and all this these crazy cookie cutter plans that you find online, then yeah, go for it. Just wasting time and money. And like I said, I'm 40 years old. I waited, but alhamdulillah, I was able to get here. And I can say right now that I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm better in shape now than I was in my 20s. I'll actually share a picture with Azim about how I looked when I was in my 20s versus how I'm currently, which is 39, almost 40 in about 50 days, but who's counting?
Love it.
But it's important to just get a quality coach and the accountability. I can't stress that enough. Not only like Azim said with regards to the physical active aspect, but it's also the mental aspect. You talk to somebody every day. You have somebody who has their best interest in mind for you. They want to see you succeed. No coach you hire wants to see you fail. They want to see you succeed. I worked with Azim. Maybe it's been, like Azim said, it's been a long time. It's probably been over a year. It's probably
Yeah.
been almost two
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
I worked with him for maybe six months, was it? I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
And it laid the foundation for me to decide with regards to what I wanted to do with my life. And again, it's not on a quality online coach doesn't want to keep you in their program for life. They want to get you to somewhere where you're comfortable enough to make those steps to move forward by yourself. They just have to lay the groundwork. Sometimes they have to just provide the guidance. And like when you go to school, it's not like you go straight from, if you're a lawyer or a doctor, engineer, you don't just go straight to the work. You straight to work. You have to go through the building blocks. You have to go through school. You have to have those teachers teach you. And you sometimes when you want to lose weight, you need to have a quality online fitness coach or fitness coach in general. It doesn't always have to be online, but online is so accessible to people all around the world. And a lot of people who think that online coaching doesn't work, they're wrong, because I'm a product of online coaching. And to lose, I'm going from 280 pounds to my lowest was 169.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting at about 180 right now. That's purposely, not because I'm gaining weight. I wanted to be 180, just wanted to bulk up a little bit. But to get to 160, that's over 120 pounds, 110 pounds.
Yeah.
And so I lost a person, basically,
Alhamdulillah, man.
so.
No, honestly, I think, like I said, thing that was most impressive about your transformation was that we've seen people do crazy transformations when they're like 19 or 23 or 24, whatever, right? Mashallah, you were at that age where people are like, I've reached my prime, I've finished, my peak. Now I'm just gonna focus on business. I'm just gonna focus on this. I'm gonna, and sort of let themselves go. And being desi, being Pakistani, eating specific foods, and you know how it is, right?
Yeah.
Our life expectancy isn't that great because
No, no.
our lifestyle, right? That itself was, I think, the most inspiring about your transformation, about your journey, right? And so what would you say to I guess what would be the biggest changes that you had to make in order to get from where you were to where you are, or where you got, alhamdulillah, to reach your goal, in terms of like nutrition and working out? Would you say they were, super, super strenuous changes? What was the process in order that we took to implement it? Was it comfortable for you, or, what would you have done?
So it's absolutely very comfortable. First change you have to make is that mindset change. You got to stop feeling sorry for yourself and being like, oh, woe to me. I'm too busy. I'm too old. I'm too busy. I have jobs and kids. I have two teenage kids. I have two jobs. I'm going back to school. I'm
Yeah.
and I still have time to work out every day, and with regards to the biggest changes, there wasn't much with regards to, oh my God, I got to spend 3, 4 hours in the gym. It's meal plans on the weekends. Azim provides you with meal plans. You follow the meal plan. Gives you macros, calories, how you need to eat. Provides you with the workout. So it's all set and laid for you. You just have to follow it. It's going to take an hour out of the day, 45 minutes out of the day to go to the gym. Or even he even provides you with, if you don't have the time, which is a big farce, everybody has time, that workouts you can do at home. Even you have a home gym, bands. He has so many modalities he can work with you to make sure that you are able to be physically active and get to your goals.
Alhamdulillah, yeah.
And
So
that was something that helped me too, because sometimes I had to get through that whole thing with regards to getting over that idea I don't have time. I realized how much time you actually have when you get off the phone and stop watching TV.
yeah, right. Absolutely. And that's like one of the biggest fitness that we have. This thing right here is like something else, man. But I think that a lot of people have that misconception going from 0 to 100, that's fitness, right? In the sense that, oh, if we have never stepped foot in the gym, a trainer is going to make us do an hour on the treadmill and then hit heavy weights. And then from there, we're going to get tired. We're not going to have time for, our kids or anything like that, right? People don't understand the gradual process of introducing fitness. It could literally be a 10-minute walk, right? A day.
Absolutely.
After every salah, go for a 5-minute walk, right? Do something, move around, move your body, right? And at that point, your body will start getting used to the activity. And at that point, you're even going to feel better. Your energy levels are going to be higher. Your food intake is going to taste better because you're going to be moving around. You're going to be working for it. So like you said, the mindset's the first step. And then after that, slow progression into increasing your daily activity. So this mindset that I have to be in the gym 2 hours, 3 hours, alhamdulillah, that wasn't the case with you. And that's not the case with anybody, right? You don't need to start like that.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
We were in the gym initially. It was just the walks. You can make sure you're being physically active. 15 minutes. Who doesn't have 15 minutes? And it's not like your workouts were like initially they were extremely like so challenging that I was in pain. You kept the fact that I had back issues in mind. You programmed that into my workouts. You also made sure that I wasn't somebody that was physically active. I was somebody else pretty obese. I had some knowledge in the gym, but you kept all that in mind when you programmed it in. And it was maybe 15, 30 minutes, and it didn't drastically change my life
Yeah.
going to the gym. It was just making sure that I initially started with the baby steps and then move forward.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah, I think that the slow progression is the thing that always helps clients sort of ease into the more intense sessions, right? And that comes later on once we take you from being a complete novice, a beginner, to being
Absolutely.
like, hey, you have some experience in terms of resistance training, and then we hire the intensities to help you break plateaus, and that goes as it is, right? So the last few things I want to ask, inshallah, is alhamdulillah, you went through the program, we worked together, we've seen the results. Did the program exceed your expectations? Would you recommend it to others? And any final closing thoughts that you have, inshallah.
Well, absolutely exceeded my expectations. That's why I had the results I did. And the reason I'm sitting here and talking to you in this testimony is because I definitely want to recommend it to anybody, especially the population, like the older, not elderly. I'm not elderly yet. I'm the
Yeah, no,
older
you're not old yet, man. I was
population.
gonna say.
Those people who are in their late 30s, 40s, 45, 50, thinking that they can't get into shape, that, it is what it is. They kind of just throw in the towel and this is it. I expect my first heart attack at whenever it is, whenever it happens. You can change all that, you can definitely change all that. My lab work before and after was, if you compare it, it looks like two different people. I can't stress it enough to just start moving, get a quality coach, online coach like Ozim, and just start moving, just start getting out there. And if you're on the fence about whether to get a coach, if it's too expensive, which it's not expensive. You have coaches out there that charge you like $300-400 a week. I've seen it. I did the research before deciding on Azim, and one of the main reasons I went with Azim initially was, other than the fact that he is a friend of my nephew's, was he was cheap, and I was just like, hey, let me give this a try.
Yeah,
And if you're thinking about not saving your money with regards to not getting a coach, you're just going to be spending your money on medication and copays. You're not going to take care of your health, and that's what's end up going to end up happening. And I couldn't recommend Azim enough. He's a great brother. He knows the Sunnah. He's relates to the Pakistani Southeast Asian culture, the Islamic culture, Islamic values. He knows the importance of the Sunnah foods and what to eat and how overeating can negatively affect you. He mixes nutrition, fitness, and Islam all in one. So not only are you learning fitness and nutrition, you're learning a little bit of the deen, which is invaluable in itself.
I appreciate the kind words first and foremost. In regards to Islam, I barely know anything. I'm not gonna sit here and say I know Islam or anything, but we just try to practice our deen to the best of our abilities, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provides knowledge, right? Um,
Yeah.
but Jazakallah khair for the kind words, truly.
But you motivate us through your videos. You motivate us. You
Alhamdulillah.
have you cover your aura, which a lot of people don't do nowadays. You wear the sunnah beard. You wear the kufi in the gym.
The bare
You make
minimum, bro. The bare minimum.
alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. You do enough to make sure that you have that Islamic values, which so many of us lack, especially in the gym.
Alhamdulillah. I really appreciate it. And anytime, those thoughts come into your head, I just ask that you and anybody else just make dua for me. That'd be the biggest thing. Brother Mubashir, truly, I appreciate your time,
Of
and
course,
it's a pleasure working with you, a pleasure getting more acquainted with you and calling you a brother, truly.
absolutely.
And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase you, keep
Amen.
your family healthy, keep you healthy, and allow you to progress in your work, and bless you with the best in this life and the next. Jazakallah khair
Likewise.
for your time, man.
Barakallahu feek.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam.